Hi there, this is Ranjit, and this is going to be a different kind of a video. And I always wanted to make this video. I want to have a small discussion with you guys regarding value flagship smartphones and the real flagship smartphones, because I have used all of them. For example, this is the Galaxy S10 Plus, this is the iPhone XS Max, and regarding the value flagships, I have used a lot. For example, I would say the Asus Zenfone 6Z, the OnePlus 7, etc. are value flagships. So let's first define what do we mean by value flagship. And this is personally, according to me, a value flagship should have a very good processor, a flagship kind of a processor, but should not cost a lot. For example, personally for me, I call smartphones value flagship if they are priced below 35,000. So example, the OnePlus 7, the new Asus 6Z, etc. all are value flagship smartphones. And true flagships, generally cost a lot more, almost double the value flagship. For example, around 60 to 70,000, or even more than that in India. So again, I don't know what to call the OnePlus 7 Pro, because definitely it's not a value flagship, because it's closer to about 50,000. But again, it's still not a flagship also. And I'll talk to you why. Why are flagships still a little bit different from value flagships? What are the main differences that I have noticed after using all these smartphones? And the first thing that I've noticed is that in value flagships, we do not get any official IP rating. That means water resistant. For example, in every flagship from the last couple of years, even if you take this is the Galaxy S10 Plus, iPhone XS Max, etc. These all have proper IP rating, and even you can actually put it in water, submerge it, and nothing will happen. So in value flagships, still we are not finding this official IP ratings. Next, if we talk about stereo speakers, now luckily in the value flagships, we are seeing stereo speakers. For example, this generation of the OnePlus 7, the OnePlus 7 and the OnePlus 7 Pro, both had the stereo speakers. Even the Asus 6Z had that. But one thing that I've noticed is very different is that in terms of audio output, though technically these OnePlus 7, Asus 6Z have a stereo speaker, but the quality of the speaker, the stereo separation that you should get in a proper stereo speaker is simply not that great compared to true flagships. For example, the stereo output on the iPhone XS Max is really immersive. You get that stereo experience even on the Galaxy S10, S10 Plus, etc. So still, for the namesake, yes, the OnePlus 7, Asus 6Z have that stereo speaker, but the quality of the sound, the stereo separation that you want to get, that effect is simply not that great. Even the depth is hardly there, but that is there on the flagship. Even I would say for a certain extent, on the Pixel 3 XL had much better audio output in terms of the stereo speaker compared to the value flagship. Now, this is a subjective thing. Also, when it comes to weight and build quality, don't get me wrong, the value flagships also have become very good in terms of build quality now. But yes, with the true flagships, the build quality is even slightly better. For example, the iPhone XS, XS Max have excellent build quality. In fact, in one area I do not like the iPhones is that they have a stainless steel casing, hence the weight of the iPhone becomes really heavy in my opinion. Some people like that, some people don't, but in terms of weight balance, etc., I would say the Galaxy S10 Plus has done an incredible job, though it's a big screen device, as you can see guys, but the weight balance has been done very well. It is actually very light to hold, one of the lightest in terms of when we talk about this full screen size compared to other value flagships. Value flagships build quality is also good, but what I've noticed is that in terms of weight balance, I would still say some of the premium smartphones get that slightly better, and that differentiates in regular day-to-day experience. For example, I've always felt that the OnePlus 7 Pro, the weight balance was a little bit higher. I would say it's just felt a little bit more heavy. So here also some of the flagships, I would say, for example, the Galaxy S10 and S10 Plus have a better weight balance. Hence, in the day-to-day usage, they feel more comfortable to use. They do not feel that heavy. Now, another thing that is simply not present on most of the value flagship smartphone is wireless charging. And this is due to the fact that implementing wireless charging does cost quite a bit. So simply we do not have any wireless charging on the Asus 6Z, even the OnePlus 7, and strangely even on the OnePlus 7 Pro. But if you notice, most of the flagships from the last couple of years, all of them have wireless charging. Even the Pixel 3X 3 and the 3 XL had wireless charging, and obviously the Samsungs and even the iPhone have wireless charging, which is a convenient feature. I would say, you might say it's a gimmick, but as I have been using these flagship phones for quite some time, I have some wireless chargers in my office. For example, this is the one that I have here on the desk. I can just place the phone and it charges, and have one more over there you can't see on the screen. It's a flat one, so I can just place the phone on the desk and it just charges. So it's a convenient feature that we have, and many of the new cars are having wireless charging features. So I feel, yes, it's a good feature to have on a flagship phone, but sadly still we do not find that on value flagships because of the cost of implementing it. For example, some of the new phones even have reverse wireless charging. The Galaxy S10, S10 Plus, etc. have that, and some of the even Huawei phones have that. Yes, I would say it's not required, but it's a convenient feature. If you're paying that much, why not have it? But simply we don't find that on value flagships. Also, lastly, this is narrowing this gap is actually narrowing a lot now. In terms of cameras, I would say still the true flagships offer the best camera performance. It's not to say that the value flagships camera are bad, but still if you look at it and if we compare the pictures side by side, yes, the true flagships have slightly better cameras that we are getting, but this gap is closing as we move ahead, I would say. Also, some minor things that I've noticed between flagships and value flagships is that in terms of the haptic motor, that is the vibration motor, I have noticed that the flagships definitely have way better haptic motor. For example, the iPhone's Taptic engine is known to be great, and even the vibration motor on the S10 Plus is slightly better. In fact, OnePlus really improved the haptic feedback on the OnePlus 7 Pro. On the OnePlus 7 Pro, I would say the vibration motor is really good. That's the same case even with the Pixel 3 XL. But in terms of value flagships, still the haptic feedback vibration motor that you get is not as good as we found on the true flagships. Yes, I would say that the vibration motor is better on the OnePlus 7 Pro compared to the OnePlus 7. Though OnePlus say it's the same, I do not feel that. The vibration feedback that I get on the 7 Pro is better than the OnePlus 7. And lastly is regarding the screen quality. The flagships get that Quad HD screen, very high resolution screens, the latest in the screen technology, whereas most of the value flagships, they're not bad, very good, I would say. They come with mostly a 1080p or a full HD plus screen, and they don't get the best in the latest screen technologies on them. So here also you notice a difference, but again, in day-to-day performance, I would say you won't notice it that much unless you're very, very picky. But yeah, the flagships get the best quality screens. And lastly, this is one area where I would say, and this is very peculiar in India, is again in terms of flagships. For example, if you have the iPhone, we have the Apple Pay, so you can do the payments via that. But in India, Apple Pay is not there, so it's not relevant. But I would say the Samsung flagship phone, for example, if you take S8, S9, S10, etc., all of these have Samsung Pay and a MST chip. So you can just put your credit card on this one and you can just tap to any kiosk and do a payment. And actually I use that when I'm using a Samsung phone, and I really appreciate that. I don't know why other Android providers are not doing that. Yes, we have Google Pay, but Google Play is not as seamless. You need those newer machines which are not there in almost every retail shop. But Samsung with the Samsung Pay has the MST chip on this, whereas it works with any dumb machine, any credit card machine. And I feel, again, that's a really good feature to have. But sadly, that's only found in true flagships, and specifically in India, only on Samsung flagships. So yes, as you can see, these are the main differences between a value flagship and a true flagship. The good thing is that with a value flagship, you're not missing a lot. You're getting the performance, because the processor is almost the same as found on a true flagship. But yes, some of the certain features that I've mentioned are still missing on value flagship. But again, you are paying almost twice the amount for a true flagship. For example, you can get a value flagship less than about 35,000, whereas a true flagship costs anywhere about in India, 60 to about 70 or 75,000. That's almost double the cost of a value flagship. And you are definitely paying also for the brand name and the brand image. There is also a premium. I would say in terms of features, you're getting about 25-30% of extra features, but you're paying almost twice the amount for the brand image and the brand name. Also, one thing that I found recently in true flagships are that cutting edge technologies generally come first on a true flagship. For example, that we have seen with the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. This has the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, which is again not to be found on any other smartphone because it's very Samsung did a lot of research and then only they can do that. So again, things like that, cutting edge stuff. For example, again, the foldable smartphones are also going to come out very soon, but initially they'll be only restricted to super premium flagships. So this was a small video, the differences between value flagships and true flagships. And I would say if price to performance ratio is your highest criteria, then definitely the value flagships are much better. But again, you want every bell and whistle on your smartphone, the cutting edge stuff, I would say still you have to go with the proper flagship. And again, do let me know what is the one feature that you would like to see on value flagship that is present on these premium flagship smartphone. Maybe some of the OEMs might watch this video and implement. So what is your top one feature that you would like to be present on value flagship smartphones? Do let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, guys, this is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.